All right, everybody. It is Friday, and I think we're doing the final part of Jedi Survivor. Welcome to another episode of RAUDEZA Plays. I'm RAUDEZA, and this is Lucky 13. So it's Friday, and it's the 13th episode, so hopefully we can finish this up. And you'll have to forgive my voice. I think I ate something today that didn't agree with me. So I don't know why. Oh, God, here we go again. It did. It really disagreed with me, and it's messing with my throat. And I don't know why this is not chiming in. Sorry, guys. I had like an attack right now, a cough attack. So okay, we are live. All right, here we go, guys. Let me just turn down the volume. Okay, so we are on Tanalor, a very, very colorful planet, to say the least. Just look at the color palette here. A lot of magentas and pinks and stuff like that, and blues. And we're going to go and have our final confrontation with Bode, I think. Or whatever's going to happen. So thank you guys for watching. Again, my throat is a little bit off right now because, I don't know, I had something that disagreed with me. I think I'm actually getting sick because it's getting worse. So hopefully I don't get sick, but I'm going to get through this. So let's continue on with Cal Kestis and my girlfriend here's adventure. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that into the mic. That's really messed up. And forgive the snorts, guys. Again, you know, I don't get sick that often, but when I do, it really messes me up. So let's go ahead and continue on, guys. One of the things I did want to see... I wanted to go back here. Excuse me, guys. And see what was in this, like, little cave area here. Which, absolutely nothing. Okay. What is it called? Haven's End. Just wanted to explore this a little bit. And just kind of get a sense for this planet. Tenalor or whatever. Look at this, guys. That's just really pretty. From a visual standpoint and a color standpoint. Prior to going live, I was messing with a little bit of the aspect ratios, just to see if it really made any difference. What did you see, BD? And yeah, I mean, it just widened up the view and stuff like that. One thing I did do though, just for shits and giggles, just to see. So I turned off performance mode and did, you know, the visuals. And honestly, I didn't really see like a difference in the graphics. Excuse me. So I figured to myself, you know, I am sacrificing frame rates for a minimal upgrade in the graphics. Honestly, I couldn't even tell the difference, if I'm being honest. And I figured, why would I sacrifice frame rate for graphics? For graphic fidelity, which, I mean, my eyes really couldn't tell the difference. So I just put it back on performance mode. So if at least on the PS5, for those of you who are interested, I didn't really see a difference that really mattered. So just keep it on performance mode, guys, because it runs a lot smoother.
So this is Tanalor.
Not what you were expecting?
I don't know what I was expecting. So much has changed since I first heard its name.
Interesting planet.
The temple's this way.
Excuse me, guys. Hey, what's going on, Flame?
Centauri Kree planned their future here.
How was
How
was your gaming session last night? By the way, since we were talking about it yesterday, Baldur's Gate 3, again, not necessarily my type of game. It's funny because I did play D&D old school when I was younger, but just, you know, some of the systems, I'm just not, again, I'm old school. RAUDEZA was a fan of turn-based, even though I didn't really like it so much. I could put up with it. Now, I don't know, it's hard for me to get into turn-based. But since we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, the game is killing it, and the freedom and flexibility that it provides it just in terms of problem solving and then how you play the game, and it incorporates a lot of the D&D tabletop functionalities like the die and stuff like that. I think that's pretty innovative, and it's somebody I don't know who it was. I was watching a reviewer talking about a lot of the Xbox, and I'm not going to say fanboys because I don't know, that's such a stupid word. A lot of the
Bode will
supporters
not
of
let this end
Xbox
peacefully. He has already
who
used
are
fatherhood
defending,
to justify betrayal and murder.
some pretty big
Now we have
flaws
him
in
cornered,
Starfield.
with nowhere else to
We're
run.
talking about
He
how
will kill
Starfield
or
is
be killed.
blowing away Baldur's Gate. Yeah, that is
Well,
just
say something.
that is
You're
patently.
right. But what about Kata?
How can I say this? Full of
She's
shit.
not much younger than we were when our families were taken from us.
The graphical
know.
fidelity, the level
You
of
and I will carry
exploration, the
that loss for the
complexities
rest
in the
of our
systems,
lives.
the fact that
Kata still has
you're
a chance.
actually have a lot of
she
freedom
does.
in Baldur's Gate
Very well.
really does not
We will give
compare
Bode the
to the
choice to stand
limitations
down.
of Starfield.
For
And
Kata's
it's not a
sake.
bad game.
And ours.
Don't get me wrong. I haven't played it yet, but from what people are telling me and a lot of fan feedback and whatnot, it is not a bad game. But is it a revolutionary game? Has it changed the industry or left like a sizable benchmark? I don't think so, and a lot of people don't think so. And and just looking at what the gameplay mechanics are, and especially the engine that they're using. I mean, yeah, they're two different games. They're completely. You can't even complete. You can't compare them, except to say that apart from being two different genres, obviously one is a little bit more isometric. It's not a first-person shooter, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the comparisons. I mean, the differences between the games are distinct because of their style. But where you can make certain parables is in the level of freedom, the kind of non-hand-holding, non limitations in terms of some of the decisions that you can make in the game, the way that you problem solve in Baldur's Gate 3. It looks really amazing. There's no microtransactions. In fact, I think in even one of the settings, when you go to read the description of something, it clearly says that the developers of Baldur's Gate don't want you to be bogged down with microtransactions. They just want you to, or any other like post buying the game, paying for services, none of that bullshit, right? The developers are like, we just want you to enjoy a authentic experience for what the game is, right? And even though it's not necessarily a game that I can get into, and most people won't unless like you're really hardcore into D&D mechanics and stuff like that. But for what it is, the game looks like a freaking masterpiece. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was this turn-based combat and you've got to control all these systems and whatnot, I'd probably be playing it right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's about the content updates. It's you know what, Baldur's Gate is the purest. It's probably the gaming at its purest and at its finest, and what the industry was before it had these fucking like huge inflated budgets and microtransactions and all the shit that that again, a perfect example. While I do love Jedi Survivor, some of the decisions that the industry is doing to push out these games when they're not finished is part of the problem. And clearly with Baldur's Gate, it took a lot of time. I think it was like 6 years in development, but it was worth it because you could see that they clearly had a passion for it. It came out, it wasn't broken. There's no bugs. You know what I mean?
I feel so much
You
hatred
compare that
towards
to
Bode.
Bethesda.
Cere
It's
won
just
her battle with the dark side. You will too.
two different developing cycles, right? And two different philosophies. And again, I'm going to go on the record and saying I have not played Starfield yet. Oh yeah. This Unity thing, man. That's making waves among the industry. Now we have the game engine, the Unity, yeah, and that's coming with its own controversies and whatnot. But let me reference Starfield again. Again, full disclosure, I have not played it yet. I'm not like some other assholes on the internet and we all know who we're talking about, that make fucking idiotic comments and not having played the game. I think fucking guy's a pariah. I'm sorry, he's just an ass clown forever. Just because, when we all know why. But, excuse me. But in what I have been reading, and reading several articles, talking to friends of mine, other YouTubers, and people that I have been, just kind of shooting the shit with. People like Flame, who's watching or who's interacting with the with the stream now. You can kind of get a sense that it's a good game.
Good.
It's a Bethesda title. It has its bugs, its quirks. Um, Working on an engine that needs to be overhauled, and I think this is a bit of a thing with Bethesda for a very long time. It's got some antiquated game mechanics for sure, just from what I've seen, and hopefully that they won't port these same kind of issues that are not necessarily game breaking, but definitely not revolutionary. Hopefully they'll port, like whenever we get Elder Scrolls 6, I hope to God that they have finally, as a company, have come to terms with some of their errors. Some of them are, their own doing. But I hope that Elder Scrolls does not work on this fucking old ass fossil of an engine that they keep using. I hope it will truly be next gen, and and I hope that they don't overpromise. Just make a good fucking game. Just make a good game, and make a good game to come out when it's ready. And I don't even, the acquisition of Microsoft, Bethesda obviously being bought out by Microsoft because they wanted to have exclusivity rights. I mean, this thing about exclusivity, I understand the business practice, but I'm so against fucking antitrust and monopolies. I think we have that. We already have that a lot. It's prevalent, and they really, whether it needs to be a congressional act, some of these companies, and I'm not talking about game companies specifically, companies like Google, Facebook, and shit like that, they're too big to fail, So I'm not for this fucking exclusivity bullshit. And you know what? I use both systems. I've never understood this shit between PC owners and fucking PlayStation owners and PS5 owners, and like, why the fuck, it really, who gives a shit? Whatever fucking platform, it really doesn't matter.
Do you hear that?
Katja.
Yeah, I hear that. What the hell is that? I hope that's not his daughter. Alright, so I was just kind of going off on a tangent, giving my thoughts on the state of gaming right now in the industry, and just some of the things that, are going to be coming an issue. All this stuff, guys, is leading up to an event horizon. At some point, the industry itself, if it hasn't already done so or doesn't have the temerity or the willingness to look at itself and understand that some of these business practices, and with the publishers and the development teams, it's not sustainable anymore. And I think the perfect example of that is what happened to Anthem. Now, if what BioWare did with Anthem and EA, if that is not a fucking cautionary tale of just mismanagement, getting stuck in development fucking hell for however, it was like 7 years, I believe, shitting on the development team, a pissing contest between the A team and the B team, and of course, I think the worst thing that could have happened to fucking gaming is the casualization of certain things. I'm not saying that it shouldn't appeal to just to casual players, although this fucking philosophy of idiots that say that a game that's not made for everybody shouldn't be made. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what happens is games like fucking FIFA and Madden and these, that they're just rehashes of the same bullshit over and over again, and people fucking just buy it. I think finally people are getting to the point where they're just sick of these practices already. Or at least I hope so, as consumers. But this this has really fucked up the industry. These, FIFA, and again, it goes back to monopolies and antitrust laws. There's only one person that has a fucking title of FIFA. There's only one person that has the NFL license right now, and because of it, it's become stagnated. Essentially, they could do whatever the fuck they want, and people were like, "Well, where the hell else are we gonna get our gaming fix with Madden and FIFA?" I personally don't play those games. I'd rather fucking play the actual sport. But I can understand the appeal. I'm not one of these assholes that says that you're a casual gamer just because you play sports games. But it does cause a detriment to the overall industry, where they figure, well, people are just going to buy this shit anyway. They're going to buy whatever we do every year as long as we make incremental, and in many cases, no fucking changes, no innovation whatsoever, and people are going to still buy it. And if you're going to make millions of dollars off of it, then, they're thinking to their shareholders and their bottom line, they're like, well, why the fuck would we do it? So I'm hoping that the game industry as a whole will see that this is not sustainable, that I think their consumers are going to be a lot smarter in the products that they buy, and stop this fucking shit of releasing games half-baked, half-cooked, and whatever the hell, But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. What the fuck was that? I don't even know what that was about. Also, what the fuck was the deal with this guy? Now that you brought that up, Flame, the guy with the pronouns. I mean, what the fuck was that all about?
BD1.
Hey, Katsa. This is Marin. She's a friend.
Excuse me. Let me open up a drink.
I'm sorry,
I
Papa
got
hurt
triggered
you.
by pronouns. Things that are like,
Yeah.
was
Said
it
I'd never
bothering
see you
him?
again.
Did it,
What are you doing here?
and I'm gonna admit that sometimes,
Your father stole
people
something
that
very
are
important.
non-binary or
You're
whatever.
Gonna ask him to give it back.
Oh, the Activision merger. That's right.
Will you show us the way?
I mean,
Okay. Follow me.
I was saying something. Sometimes when people who are not binary and you're referring to them
Don't
as
like it
they
here.
and stuff like that, it could be. Sometimes it
dark,
confuses me, but not
Lonely.
because I don't acknowledge, how they want to be addressed. It's
You don't
just
have to be
from
afraid.
a fucking literal standpoint, from an English standpoint. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'll take
Better?
my- yeah, chances. I mean, not only COD multiplayer chances out of it, and
You're
nothing else.
very pretty.
Yeah, I mean, again, these decisions, and you're absolutely right, Flame. These decisions sometimes don't make any sense. It's a really cute kid, by the way. I hope I don't have to fuck up her dad now. Wow, look at this. This temple's beautiful. Excuse me. I had to take a drink. Oh, crap. I'm going to tell you right now, if I have to take this guy on in front of it, I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to do it because I want to finish the game.
How did you get here?
It wasn't easy.
I really don't want to
You
fight this
shouldn't
thing.
have followed us.
Papa, don't!
Stay back, Cutter. This is the only way to keep you safe.
Wait, what the fuck?
She
dude?
will be safe.
Chill out.
I promise, Bode. But listen to me. It's over.
Lay down your weapons.
This planet will be a haven for those hunted by the Empire. Including Kata
Yeah.
and you.
Dude, just chill out, man.
But you have to surrender. Now.
Go outside, Cutter.
Oh, you fucking
Listen to them,
asshole.
please!
Whoa, what are you doing? That's your fucking kid, man. Ah, Bode. Well, he wasn't listening to you,
For
Flame.
my family.
He just did something really stupid. Why did you do that, dude?
You will break. You will heal.
Yep, exactly like that. Dude, you didn't have to do that.
Watch the blast! Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
Alright. Let me double blade this bitch. Oh, you freaking bastard! Damn it!
Stay away from Kata.
But I'm not doing anything to her, dude. I'm trying to help.
Not a chance.
Oh, you bastard. Alright, I'm going dark side.
It's over, Keswick.
Oh, shit, no! Whoa, 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 whoa! Holy snap, okay. Shit. Impact.
I need help.
Shit. God damn, I can't dodge that thing. Oh, no, no, no,
Edie, stim
no.
here.
Oh, shit.
Right
Stim.
here, buddy. That hurt.
Shit.
This is my home now. It's over.
Damn it. How do you dodge that shit? Oh my god, this freaking guy. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Stim pack.
Should have stayed away.
Oh, there we go.
Disappointing. Damn you!
No! No!
How you survive?
Oh, fudge cakes. Ah, I didn't press the thing quick enough. Alright. Alright. Hey, this guy's a lot harder than... I think double-bladed works better with him. He's a lot harder than Jesus and the other guy. What's... Savick or whatever the hell his name was? Oh, I didn't get this echo. Alright, let's try this again.
Decision is final.
Master Ancesis, please. He has the will to fight.
And I admire it. But it is not only his life we would risk. The ships are leaving. There is no time. I suggest you both join us.
Yeah, he is a smarter fighter, too. Shit.
You will break. You will yield.
Oh, shit.
Should have stayed out of this.
No, no, you don't.
Distract him! I will strike from the shadows.
That's it. Lay it out.
sponge cake. This might take a couple tries. He's not that easy to take on. Oh shit. Oh, let me get my runes. Let me get my runes. Hold on.
Got a trick for you.
All right. No, no, no. Oh my god, I can never dodge that. Dirty bastard. Damn it.
Give me a sim.
God dog it, how do I dodge that? Oh, you son of a snitcher.
Help me. What you got, Castus? Right here, buddy.
All right. Okay, we made some headway with this guy. Jesus Christ, this guy's really strong with the force, man. Oh shit, it's either no! Not the kid, bro, not the kid. Come on, stop being a dick, dude. Hey, oh man, don't mess with BD now. What the hell? Okay, I'm embracing this darkness. I don't give a shit. Alright, dude. See, I didn't want to take it there, but you're being an asshole. Trying to get you to calm down. Just chill out, dude. Oh shit. Okay.
You were always weak, Cal. Give in!
Come on. Come on.
Not long now.
All right, got you son of a bitch. Okay. That's it. It's done. I don't want to do this anymore. Take a drink.
This on your daughter.
Mode. We know what it's like to grow up alone.
Yeah, I don't want to kill Bill situation. Please, dude. Like, I'm fucking imploring you.
All right. And when the Empire comes,
They're not gonna come.
will you be able to protect my little girl?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Carter. I
No.
tried.
Whoa, wait a minute. No, what are you doing? That's your kid, you jerk. Oh, no. Do not mess with my girl, man. Oh, shit. Come on, dude. Hey, Bo, like, chill out, dude. Oh. Oh, shit. Damn, dude, I didn't want it to come to this. That sucked. Yeah, that sucked, man. But you're right, he was a smarter fighter. Too far. Last moment, okay. Oh, this poor kid, man. She even gonna understand this? Like what I just did? Yeah, I mean,
How are you
listen, I
feeling?
didn't take off limbs or anything like that.
Better. Thanks.
Good.
I didn't want to do that in front of his kid anyway.
We should speak.
I thought I lost Marin there for a
I
second.
was not much older than you when I lost my family. For many
You know,
years, I
again,
carried
I
this
like
pain.
the respect that they give to each character that has
I did not
fallen, you
want
know?
to feel better.
Why?
I thought if I let go of the pain, I would be letting go of the people I loved. But I was wrong. And one day, I met someone who also lost his family. Together, we found another way to survive.
You know, all of this was avoidable, by the way.
This pain is yours. It is part of you.
When my mother died, it changed Papa.
Yeah, I imagine.
And me too, I guess.
Yes. But it does not have to define you. And you must not let it consume you.
You know, if they ever make a sequel to Jedi Survivor, I mean, it would be really cool to, like in the future, see Kata's story. You know? I think that would be pretty cool. Oh, that's wow, that's pretty nice. The pyres. I always thought it was so elegant how the Jedi burn their dead with the funeral pyres. Beautiful music, by the way. Beautiful score. Yeah. Absolutely. There's something about the score for this for this theme when Luke burns Darth Vader at the end of the Battle of Endor. There's something so emotional and so visceral about John Williams' score. And I don't care who you are, even if you're not a Star Wars fan or whatever, you can just hear that score and how powerful it is. And I think one of the reasons it makes it so powerful is because it's melancholic. It is a last exacerbation of something that you've been through. It's the end of an era and the beginning of a new. It is the celebration and honoring a life and its passing. There's so many things going on. It's such a complex score of emotions. And I think that's what makes it classic and brilliant. I like how they did that little time lapse thing where he's
saved my life on
not moving and the rest of the characters are moving in the background. I think that was perfect.
When I needed to. You taught me what it truly means to be a Jedi. Now you're gone. We will continue your legacy, Seer.
Yeah.
We will build something that can outlast the Empire. I promise you that. I promise. But I'm scared.
You know, I think Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor is a perfect example of
Don't know if I'm ready.
How brilliant, emotional, complex, and
for what comes next.
And all-encompassing Star Wars can be in the right hands. Yes, yeah, I completely agree. If this was if this ends on a cliffhanger, and it turns out to be continued, it would be brilliant. It would be perfect. So I don't think this is the end of Cal Kestis' story, and definitely not Kata's end. Does he sense something, though? Oh, shit, the spirit ghost.
Cal. Guide her through the darkness.
Oh, then that means that she's force sensitive. That's right. Kata is force sensitive. Yeah, force ghost. Well, that was brilliant. Yeah, she must be powerful with the Force. She's got to be Force sensitive, because it's the offspring of Bode and his wife. Or yeah, guys. Well, that was Jedi Survivor, and holy shit, was it brilliant? And I'm really pleased with the game. Yes, it launched in a very, I don't want to say poor state, in an unoptimized state. It definitely launched before it was ready, or before a few tweaks needed to be made. And I think initially it kind of dampened the overall experience. But it doesn't change the substance of the game, in that it had brilliant writing, it had excellent Story cues, excellent timing, great emotional highs and lows. Also, very fantastic game mechanics. I like that they incorporated things like when you were fighting, the stances, very similar to Ghost of Tsushima, where you had to be in specific stances to take on specific enemies. I think the only probably nitpick that I have is a lot of the force powers um, were given to you a little bit later on in the end game, but that's just a nitpicky thing. Looks like the sequel has been confirmed. All right, man. Listen, I'm all for that sequel because now I think the natural progression of this story has to be Cal Kestis and Kata as perhaps his Padawan, because clearly she's force sensitive. She has to be, right? So I think that would be a great story in trying to rebuild the Jedi Order in some way with Kata and Cal. That would be perfect. I think that would make a lot of sense. Overall, this is a brilliant game, and you know what? I have to say, I think this could be a contender for Game of the Year, or at least in the running for Game of the Year, because it was brilliantly done. Pacing, story, narrative, characters, the voice acting, the visuals were there. A little hiccups with the screen tearing, but listen, that doesn't detract from the overall substance of the game and the great storytelling. My only thing, and I think this was this was just because it made me nervous. It was a hell of a lot more platforming this time around than I was used to. But nevertheless, this was a brilliant experience, very emotional. I'm so glad that I got to come back and play this game and play the PS5 version. So overall, it's really good, guys. For those of you who are watching the stream, what are your thoughts about this 13-part journey that we went on together? Sorry if I dropped a lot of F-bombs, but the game is also challenging. Again, it's Souls-like in that way that you can't just hack and slash in this game. You have to really, manage your stances and your parries and shit like that. Otherwise, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. I love the speeder bike sequence. That's probably the awesome thing, and definitely that change in narrative. It almost seems to me like the actual main villain in this story was kind of like an afterthought, and I don't mean that in a bad way. In that the overall arching story is how people do certain things and maybe go to the dark side because of they give in to their fear. And in Bodes is especially heartening because he actually did it because he was a father and he wanted his daughter to survive. He wanted a safe haven, and I can understand that. I mean, he's probably suffering through some post-traumatic stress after surviving Order 66. But I think this was brilliantly done. I think it was well executed, and I love that. Hopefully, when they make the sequel, they will include Kata somehow. I mean, I think that would be great. I did think for a minute we were going to lose Marin, and I was like, holy shit, wait a minute. No, you can't kill Marin off. I'm going to be really pissed off at the game. Yeah, let me just drink this out of the can. Let me take a drink, guys. So, I was talking a little bit about Anthem a little bit earlier. Now that we're looking at the these people that dedicate their times, and I always like to kind of keep the stream going so that even if you don't remember who the hell the people are that worked on this, I like to pay tribute and homage to them, because guys, these are the dream makers and these are the dreamers, and these are the guys that just pour their heart and soul into these games. Whenever I give shit to like a game, I'm talking about the publishers and the fucking assholes and the higher ups and the ones that have shareholders and shit like that are just worried about their bottom line. And look, I'm not naive into thinking that they don't have to make a buck so that they can keep producing games. But my issue with them is, listen, just produce a quality game. Make sure that when it comes out that it's not in a broken state, that we're not fucking beta testing these games for you. because that's like the worst thing ever, you know? That's not what we should be doing. And I think the music is probably drowning out my voice. But that's what I mean. And these are the guys, these are the people that work hard. This is the development team that, I mean, I can't just imagine. Sorry, that score is like really high. I can just imagine the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into developing these games. That's like a little bit loud. Yes. Yes. I agree. I am really looking forward to Jedi Outlaws, and yeah, it's definitely a departure. It's gonna be pretty awesome, you know. And again, my hope for the game is that it won't be released in a fucking piss poor state, in a broken state. That it'll be stable, and you know we can all enjoy it. You know, and I want these. Look, I want these game companies to succeed, and I want them to make a profit because I understand that you need to make a profit, right? But my objection is to the detriment of consumers and to the detriment of this development team. When we were talking about Anthem, and I went back to look at my review of Anthem that I did a couple years ago, and I thought, holy shit, man, you know, there is a foundation here, right? That this game, if it was given more time in the development cycle, if they would have just not been eating shit for like 7 years, and if it wasn't poorly managed, I think Anthem could have been a really great original IP. I think it could have been something really spectacular, and somehow they fucked it up, you know. And I think it was more. And just reading all the articles, I think Jason Schreier from Kotaku is the one that released like this long ass article. It's really long about how just what the development team was dealing with, the fucking management who didn't know what the vision was, and then that video at E3. There was a part in there. There was a part in the article where it's like, you know, when he was interviewing these people, it's like, you know, when what they saw at the E3 event, like that footage, is what the fucking development team is like, oh shit, that's what we're making, you know. And that's really fucked up, guys. It really is. It says Game Freaks are finally learning with Pokemon going to slow down releases from now on. Yeah, you know, I mean, with Pokemon are going, yeah, you know, sometimes you just throttle these things back a little bit. I mean, people get fatigued with like these fucking constant releases and stuff like that. I mean, look, I now see Call of Duty as not so much that innovative anymore, but just like mindless, like when I just want to put on a pair of headphones and just do some mindless matches, and I'll play Call of Duty. When I want something a little more substantive, I'll do the Elden Rings, you know what I mean? I'll do the Dark Souls. I'll play some of these independent games. Some indie games. Death's Door was probably one of my favorites. And I did the RAUDEZA plays for Death's Door, which was a brilliant little indie title. I can't wait for Hollow Knight to come out. You know, just there's so many things that I'm really eagerly anticipating. And admittedly, I've got to go back and some of those titles that I missed that are really, really great. I've got to go. There's a lot of titles from Remedy that I didn't fucking play, and I want to go back and do that. I definitely want to do Miles Morales. I love the original Spider-Man. It was just really cool, and I get it. Miles Morales, most people see it as kind of like DLC, really, but you know, it's relatively cheap right now, and you know, it's like 8 hours or something like that. You can get through it, so it's not going to take that long. Yeah, you know, any final thoughts that you all have about Jedi Survivor? We could talk about it now. I'm going to keep this stream open. You know, if anybody wants to do Q&A or whatever, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but now's your time to ask questions and ask me questions if you want to. I'm really excited actually now that we're talking about, we're on the subject of Star Wars. I'm excited about episode 6 of Ahsoka. Overall, there was a lot of positive feedback on that episode 5. Particularly just the physical visualization of the Clone Wars and how, I think that performance by Hayden Christensen and how melancholic it was, and you could feel the weight of the Clone Wars and everything that they had suffered through, especially the relationship between them, a master and Padawan. It was just really well done. It really was, And again, Hayden Christensen, and I talked about this in the last RAUDEZA plays, is that he's a talented guy. He just, they give him shit, like any actor, they give him shit dialogue, and what the hell, Yeah, he is. He really is. Even in Obi-Wan, I don't understand why people give Obi-Wan so much shit, and this is the problem that I have with Star Wars fans. Is a lot of them are fucking like, Gen. They're either millennials or they're Gen Z that are complaining about this shit, and then they've got a fucking YouTube channel, and they're like, oh, it's boring, and the lightsabers and blah blah blah, and they're coming off of like, and I don't want to generalize, right? But they're coming off when they were kids. Their Star Wars movies were the Phantom Menace, and they saw the fight with Qui-Gon, and they saw the fight with Obi-Wan, and then Darth Maul. And it, granted, it was excellent choreography. It was wonderfully done. It was very fast-paced and stuff like that. But I don't think they realized that the original movies did. I mean, the lightsaber with Luke Skywalker, he was relatively a novice, and he didn't have as polished a stance. I mean, he was, in some scenes, especially in Return of the Jedi, he was just fucking swinging around the lightsaber, and it wasn't very, like, it wasn't visually very stimulating. It was just fucking, he was basically hacking and slashing and around, especially in the Sarlacc pit, And I think when people grow up on those newer movies, I think that all of it is like that, and it really isn't. And then just the annoying thing about some Star Wars fans is that they think they're fucking smarter than they really are, and they're the Soyu fucking, yes, these movies have flaws. But you know what I mean? What are you going to do? It doesn't mean, like, I don't know. And a lot of it is identity politics and shit like that. And that, whatever. I don't fucking... How you bring identity politics into fucking Star Wars, which is a fictional shit, that really doesn't have any bearing on our lives. It's fucking wizards and space and shit like that. But whatever. The point that I'm trying to make is that, Ahsoka is the problem with the original trilogies is just because it was poorly written, but the story is not bad. I always liked Revenge of the Sith because you see the range that Anakin has, or Hayden Christensen had. I mean, he was going through some shit. He was going through some turmoil, right? The execution of it could have been a little bit better, but that's just because of the writing. It wasn't because his inability to act, because he did a great job. He was fucking clearly suffering, and he was going through some shit. But the dialogue was just fucked, I remember one of the scenes from Revenge of the Sith when he had the clone troopers behind him, and he enters the chamber, and then he sees a youngling there, and he fucking turns on the lightsaber, and the youngling kind of flinches. I was like, holy shit, man, that was some dark shit, and it's there it is. Cameron Monaghan is the actor. And he's really good in, if you haven't seen the show, Shameless, you've got to watch that fucking show, man. It's just brilliant. Night Sister, Tina, yeah, okay. But I've always liked Revenge of the Sith. I have a much greater appreciation for the original movies now. but that comes with, years of being apart from it and analysis and stuff like that, and then you start reworking things. And I think Ahsoka is more important of a show than people realize. Not as important as Clone Wars, the animated series, or I don't want to say not as important, but not as impactful as the Clone Wars animated series, and definitely not as impactful as Rebels, the source material that it is based on. Ahsoka is kind of a sequel of sorts, right? But Rebels was just perfect. The character development, the character dynamics. I love Hera. Syndulla, one of my favorite characters. Oh, it's just really brilliant. And don't let the animation fool you. That show, Rebels, and listen, I actually fell into that trap too. Or initially didn't start watching it because of the animation. I thought it was just gonna be, a kids show. And then when I finally started watching it, I was like, oh my freaking god. This show is the themes are very adult. The sacrifices, at times that show got really dark, Yeah, you know what? You're right. If Ahsoka were to come out in the sequel to Jedi Survivor, that would be freaking amazing, and it would really tie in these stories from the video games. It's all part of the same universe. It's all following the same timeline. If they were to ever make a live action story of Cal Kestis and how he is, helping these survivors, clearly there are Force sensitive people in the universe, right? This is why I don't understand why people gave Obi-Wan's the series so much shit. Oh, it's horrible. I'm like, no, it actually isn't. The show actually makes a lot of sense. Again, you can argue the merits of the execution. That's something that you can always argue. Excuse me. But in terms of the actual the material and what Obi-Wan was going through at the time, using the Force is it's like going to the gym, right? If you don't use it, it's not like you lose it, but you're not as powerful with the Force because you're not in tune with it. And he really had to bury that aspect of himself so that the fucking Empire wouldn't find him. This is why, what's his name? Yoda had to go to the Dagobah system. Fucking the furthest reaches of space where there was so much life concentrated in that bog that, Darth Vader couldn't sense him, or whatever, the Inquisitors or whatever. There's a lot more depth to why they do these things. I actually liked Obi-Wan, the series, for several reasons, because it showed how he was a powerful Jedi Master, and because he was being hunted, he kind of had to, stunt his abilities with the Force, and just kind of. I like the fact that he was just hiding out, and he was living a very kind of scrapper type of life, and he was just cutting meat. He was a person in like a butcher shop, right? And how he regretted. He regretted he couldn't save the younglings. He had obviously his Padawan Anakin had become this fucking this creature of darkness. That comes with a lot of emotional baggage, man. The psychology behind what's going on with these characters is far more fascinating to me than like fucking action and lightsabers and shit like that, which, don't get me wrong, I like it, I appreciate that, but the psychology behind these characters and why they do the things that they do is much more fascinating to me and much more interesting to me than fancy lightsaber duels and shit like that, But again, that comes from the perspective of somebody who's much more mature, who had watched the original films, and well, whatever. I'm a professor, so I'm an academic, right? I look at these things from a different perspective. But for me, that's what made Obi-Wan so fascinating. I was like, oh my God, this is what happened to him. This was the lost years. This is why he became the way that he was. And I think that's why that series for me I thought it was really well done. For most people, they say it's boring, nothing's really going on, and I'm like, and I noticed that's a younger voice that is saying that that's boring. But that's the TikTok generation, right? That's the fucking Instagram generation that needs instant gratification. And if there's not a fucking laser beams shooting around and shit like that, they're not entertained. Okay? And again, I don't want to generalize, but I'm just saying the majority, you know? I think what people oftentimes they don't understand is that characters grow and people grow with them, and smart people that understand relevancy and how characters change. Obi-Wan, from when he's a Padawan, obviously, and I don't really think I need to highlight this, is not the same person that he was when he had when he was a Padawan. And that kind of goes without saying, but that also is gonna change his motivation. So he goes from losing his mentor, his master, in a duel with Darth Maul, and then he has to take on this apprentice who ultimately becomes probably the worst freaking Sith Lord ever, and that comes with a lot of emotional baggage. So that changes the trajectory, literally changes the trajectory of that character, of Obi-Wan. And the same thing with Ahsoka. A lot of people are like, oh, well, she's in the series, she's stinted, and there's not a lot of emotion, and she's bland. Well, that's on purpose. It's not that Rosario Dawson doesn't know. Actually, she probably knows this character more than the people are bitching about. Why is she so why? Because she had she went through the trauma of the Clone Wars. She was fucking 14 years old when she fought in the Clone Wars. Not to mention, she was exiled by the Jedi Order, branded as a fucking terrorist at one point. If you saw the Clone Wars, she went through a lot of shit. She did not have an easy life. After the siege of Mandalore, when she fucking landed with her clone troopers, a lot of them died. She had to bury them, and then she essentially had to kill herself, metaphorically speaking, so that Vader would not find her, right? So she became a different person, and especially after Rebels, when she essentially, I don't even know if I want to say this because it might be spoiler alerts. But something happens to her, and then she comes back, and that also has an effect on her, right? And then the way that Rebels ended, they're gonna be fucking different people, man. They just are, and that's why she's a little bit more closed off. She was a little more reserved. Ahsoka, her arc was very traumatic, and I don't mean that like post-traumatic. I'm just saying she had a lot of shit happen to her that made her this hardened anti-Jedi, if you want to call her that, since she left the Jedi Order. It's not the first time that Obi-Wan almost lost Qui-Gon. In the books, Qui-Gon almost went to the dark side. Okay, yeah, look. Okay, here we go. From somebody who knows, I think, about the expanded universe, Flame brought up an interesting point. This wasn't the first time that Obi-Wan almost lost Qui-Gon. This is in the books. Qui-Gon almost went to the dark side because his wife was under threat. So, shit, I didn't even know that you know what I mean? I didn't even know that Qui-Gon is married at one point. Okay? So then, again, it goes back to what I'm saying. Jedi are Jedi and they're Force sensitive, but that doesn't mean that they are not human. It doesn't mean that they're not subjected to the same human frailties as a normal person that's not Force sensitive, right? I mean, look at Bode. He was a Jedi. He fell in love. he had a kid, you know. Yeah, his marriage, his marriage was very secretive due to the rules of their religion. Yeah, and again, that's what Anakin did. And we learned from the Clone Wars, if you watched it, Obi-Wan was actually in love with God, I can't remember her name right now, but she was the queen or the princess of Mandalore. God, I can't remember her name. She is Bo-Katan's sister. She's Bo-Katan's sister. God, I can't remember her name right now. Chat, if you want to help me out with that. But Anakin fell in love with her. Excuse me. Obi-Wan fell in love with her. And there was a point in the Clone Wars that he says, if all you had to do was say the word, and I would have left the Jedi Order for you, because he fell in love with her. So this idea that these Jedi are just like, these fucking mindless and so into their it isn't like that. Oh, that is interesting. So she was Obi-Wan's second love. The first love was who became Qui-Gon's wife. Oh, shit. Wow, that seems like a very complicated triangle flame. Okay. But again, it just goes to highlight that, that you can try to live by this order and stuff like that, but ultimately you're human. And if you fall in love with somebody, you fall in love with somebody, right? This man, I've been going on for a while now, and look at all these people that are just working on this shit. I don't know, how long are we going on right now? Well, at this point, it's just becoming a discussion, guys, and honestly, I just want to go roll through the credits. Yeah. So there's some interesting stuff we're learning about the Jedi and stuff like that. What amazes me, and what I have a lot more respect for critics when they come up with a better story, and there's some people that that online, they have YouTube channels that they make these videos and shit like that are just amazing. That I'm like, I always comment, I'm like, why are you not in fucking Hollywood advising these assholes at Disney like how to do these? Yeah, that's a good point. So the reason that he was so hesitant on love is because he didn't want what Qui-Gon, he didn't want what happened with Qui-Gon, and he didn't want his emotions to go crazy. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, obviously Cal Kestis, and especially me, and I felt the same way. In order to beat some of these bosses, I'm like, yeah, let's embrace this fucking dark side. I don't give a shit. I need to win. I didn't have any compulsion about fucking turning to the dark side when I was getting my ass handed to me by any of these bosses. I was like, fucking dark side? Yeah. I wonder who these people are. Mockwell. Nice. And here comes the London Orchestra. That's pretty cool. So yeah, guys, and again, not to belabor this point, but overall, this was a really great experience. A lot of wonderful game mechanics. A little too much on the platforming, and it really made my palms sweat. And I guess, if you have a physical reaction to the game, you know that they're doing something right. So that's pretty cool. I think I clocked in about maybe 30, almost 40 hours in the game, and that's that I didn't do everything. There's some of the side quests and stuff like that I just, for the purposes of trying to get the game done, I didn't really go out of my way to do it. Oh, there's John Williams and the fucking Walt Disney Company. sentient. Alright, let me take another drink really quick. I don't know, what do you guys think? Was Bode wrong? Was he just being an asshole? I mean, I don't think that had to go down that way. There is a lot of people that worked on this shit, man. We're going on like, what, 20 minutes on all this shit? Or something like that, right? Like 15, 20 minutes? Kathleen Kennedy. Jesus Christ. I don't think there's a more polarizing fucking person than Kathleen Kennedy right now. Says, I don't think Bode was wrong, but he wasn't right either. He was scared. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. I guess, you know, when it comes to your kid, you're gonna get emotional, and yeah, I understand his motivations, but I mean, even when Cal told him, like, hey man, look, you don't have to fucking do this, dude. We can be safe, and we can be safe together. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it was like like threading that needle very specifically to get past that anomaly, to get into the Jedi Temple or wherever the fuck it was that we're at. I mean, it wasn't easy to do. It's not something that is easily done. But, though, I will have to say this, though. I wonder if the concentration of Jedi survivors or Force-sensitive beings being in the same spot will make them more of a radar in the universe. So, I mean, there can be an argument for that. Maybe both thought, listen, if you get enough Force-sensitive people in the same place, then maybe they'll feel us as a collective, and we'll be putting out a fucking signal of Force-sensitive people as a collective, and then they'll come for us. So there's an argument that could be made for that. I could, you know, flimsy. Yes, but I could see that argument. I don't think he was thinking that deep, though, honestly. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But yeah, I could definitely see that argument or his point of view there. Fucking Palpatine, man. I still, look, although I have a greater appreciation for the prequels, the sequels, and even though I did like the first one, right? I did like The Force Awakens, or you know, as much as I can like it. The other two films, fuck, I don't know. Maybe with time I'll have a greater appreciation for them with, you know, hindsight, but right now those last two films are just, and you know what, I'm not gonna, how am I gonna put this? I'm not gonna be like every fucking YouTube asshole out there that says, oh, it's because they had an agenda and the DOI and all that shit. No, it's not because of that. Although that's part of it. It is definitely in there. But my problem with the movies is that it's just, they're really fucking badly written. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see your point, Flame. I see your point. I could, Flame is like, I could see Bode being so scared that he would slam his neck into the lightsaber and then opportunity for Bode to end themselves. Yeah. Also, he kind of went berserk on his own daughter. I mean, he just kind of fucking pushed her off the, you know? So that wasn't cool. That, you know, what is it when a show jumps the shark or whatever? when they were on the fucking decks of the this Star Destroyer fleet that was being built in secret. I mean, I don't know, like whatever. When they were on those fucking horses, I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? All right. You know what? You know what the problem with the Rise of Skywalker, or whatever the fuck it was called, is that none of it made any sense. It didn't make any sense to me how how things worked. I didn't know that there was ever a fucking problem with fuel in the Star Wars universe before. The first time that I had ever heard that these ships run on some kind of liquid fuel was in the second movie. I'm like, wait, what? Or was it the second or the third movie? I don't know. I can't even remember. I'm like, what? When the hell did ships need fuel? Like conventional fuel? You know, that made no sense to me, man. I was like, wait a minute, I never heard anything about any kind of fuel, and I thought they had like fucking fusion reactors or whatever, or something like that. I don't know. I remember I had a book, a coffee table book, on how X-wings and Tie fighters are built, and then how the ships worked in the Star Wars universe. And I don't never mentioned anything about fuel or anything like that. Like gasoline or whatever. And I know that's not what it is. It's obviously not gasoline, but some kind of liquid thing that, so that part of the movies are like, oh, we're running out of gas. I was like, what the fuck? What? I'm serious, and I'm not trying to be facetious or anything like that. Never heard anything about fuel in the Star Wars universe. Okay, cool. We got a post-credit scene.
Well, it's not exactly what we expected.
Why does he look like he's wearing a Fallout uniform?
Yeah, Grease. Yeah, I guess it is. Still got a lot of work ahead of us.
It will take time to contact the hidden path.
And find the anchorites.
And build a saloon. I mean, the place is creepy, but it does have franchise potential.
This belongs with you.
It belongs with all of us.
Yeah.
What do you think, kid? Should we give it a shot?
Boy,
Yeah.
thank God we have that cute
Let's
little
do it.
droid.
Ah,
Otherwise,
that's
this kid would be really fucked up.
That's great. Come on. I'll bet you're hungry. I'll make you something to eat. Did you ever have a scaz stick?
Journey complete. It says you've reached the end of your journey. However, the galaxy can be freely explored. Okay, so you can still do stuff. New journey. Oh, is that a red lightsaber? Cosmetic stance that give you unlocked. Okay. What is this? New journey and free perks. Purity grants massive increase in weapon damage. Oh, friends are for. Oh, look at that. Warrior places standard enemies with new, more difficult combat encounters. Okay, so if you put the purity perk, it says grants a massive increase in weapon damage for both friends and foe. Okay, cool. Alright, so I guess you can change stances and stuff like that. Alright, let me just save here, guys. Jesus, look. I was almost about to die, too. Alright, guys, so we've completed the main quest and stuff like that, and I'm sure that there's still things to do. In the because there's a lot of quests that I didn't go through, but I've got to move on to other things though. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. Heaven's Age, Talonor. It's a beautiful planet though. Anyways, guys. So that has been Jedi Survivor, guys. Thank you for staying along with me on this journey. It's 13 episodes of Jedi Survivor. It's a really great experience overall, like I said. And I think I'm probably gonna stop the stream and maybe be on in like another 10 minutes because I want to download Enlisted. Maybe I'll do a little bit of screenshots of that, or maybe a quick quick stream on that just
Next,
to kind of
let's
show
go
you the
to...
game. What is this over here? Oh, this is where we're at, Talonor. I guess we can go back. Where is this? What fucking planet is this? Koba? Where we started? Alright, let's end this game on Koba.
Drinks are on me. Actually, forget that last bit.
And you know what? Can I?
Got it. You're
No, I
gonna
don't think I can.
love Como.
What's it like?
Oh, lots of waterfalls. Everything.
Yeah. I want to change that perk to Purity, I think it's called. Oh shit, that's right. I gotta wait until this... What is it? The Purity?
Okay.
The perk? Is this marksmanship, dexterity, purity? What is this? Shatter, block? Oh, I guess I have to What is this real? Block meter. Block meter is increased. Okay. Is it perplexity or dexterity? Throw damage. What is this? Centered. Push enemies. Increase damage dealt by characters affected by confusion. Precision. I guess that's it. Alright, whatever. Alright, guys, let's just go back to the planet. And then I'm probably going to end this stream so that I can be on in like 10 minutes. Let's just go back to the main planet. Well, at least we know how to get back to Terra Lore, or whatever the hell. Gotta go check on my saloon. Alrighty. Alright guys, so we're back on Kobo, whatever, back to the main planet. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. I'm going to go and download Enlisted, and I'm probably going to be on after the download. I don't think it's going to be a huge download, but I'll probably be on then. Thanks again for watching the 13 episodes of Jedi Survivor. I appreciate it. This has been RAUDEZA Plays. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you on the next RAUDEZA Plays.